Dragons, trolls, and Fwoopers, oh my. The wizarding world boasts some of the most interesting and deadly creatures known to witches or wizards. But how do you determine friend from foe? Hey there, it's Kodiak here. Welcome back to Legacy Gaming. Today, we consult the Ministry of Magic to help us learn which creatures in Hogwarts Legacies make a good pet and which ones will make you its lunch. Over the years, we've been introduced to an incredible variety of magical creatures, beings, and spirits. When you add some magic and a dab of mystical, you never truly know what you'll be faced with. Well, in 1750, the Ministry of Magic set out to solve this problem. A classification system was created and creatures were put into categories to catalog their perceived level of threat and give handlers a way to understand this at a glance. The highest and most dangerous rating is 5, which indicates it is known as a killer and impossible to train or domesticate. Level 4 requires some special skills to tame and handle. Level 3 indicates only a competent individual should attempt to interact with the creature. Level 2 tells us that a creature is harmless and may be domesticated by most, and a level 1 means pretty much anyone can be around and handle the creature with little to no knowledge. Let's look at one of the most recognized beasts around, the owl. Silent and efficient, these beasts were known best for delivering parcels in the wizarding world. Their attunement to magic allows them to find a witch or wizard even without an address, simply finding that individual by whom the parcel was addressed to. We know we'll see them everywhere in the game, including the dedicated owlry. They've even shown to be on their own menu section dedicated to a male feature that we still don't know anything about. The Ministry of Magic rates these feathery friends as a 2, as training them does require a little bit of diligence and care. The next creature is cute and cuddly, and it's called a mooncalf. Visibly obvious from its long neck and cute bulging eyes, it's most notable for dancing under a full-lit moon. They're known for helping magical plants grow faster and stronger, which would be an awesome tie-in if this effect was used in-game to aid your own herbology projects in the Room of Requirement. You'll be able to directly tame, care, and breed these in the vivarium and use their fur as material for upgrading your gear and traits within Hogwarts Legacy. We typically see these in groups and being friendly with all those around, so the Ministry of Magic stamps them with a 2 rating as they're harmless and don't require any super special handling. Alright, these next creatures are probably one of the cutest in the game, but apparently they're loud, obnoxious, and their song can literally drive the owner insane. The Fwooper isn't super well known to fans, but they're all over the wizarding world. Their feathers are used as quills and are a staple of many menageries around the world. As their song can have such ill effects, these birds come with a silencing charm that makes them manageable. Because of this, the Ministry has given them a 3 rating to provide some caution to the owner. The Kneazle can pretty much be summed up as a magical cat with a lion-like tail and spotted fur. They're very intelligent and have a keen sense to understand the true intention of a person. The most notable Kneazle was the half-bred Crookshanks, who was Hermione's pet of choice. If you own one of these and they don't like you, well, you're in for a trip, which is why the Ministry has given them a 3 classification. You are also required to specially license them to care for one. Next up are Nifflers. These platypus-like creatures love to steal and honestly probably get away with a lot as they're so dang cute. Sporting a large pouch in the front, they'll roam the area and take anything they find shiny enough to add to their collection. Despite the calm and cute nature of these beasts, the Ministry has given them a 3 rating as proper training is required and if not cared for correctly, can be quite a handful. One of the most recognizable creatures is the Hippogriff. The half-horse, half-eagle creature is famous for its immensely proud nature and is often seen adorning the land in the form of statues or paintings. Breeding these majestic creatures was actually a notable career, and as such comes with many restrictions and warnings. Being as proud as it is, the proper way to show respect was to bow, maintaining eye contact, and await the beast to bow back. If offended, it may attack. As such, the Ministry of Magic marked them with a 3 rating, indicating only competent individuals should attempt to befriend these wonderful creatures. The marshland creatures known as Dugbogs are confirmed in the game, but seem to be under some kind of curse or corruption. These creatures resemble a piece of dead wood when standing still and typically feed on small animals of the marshes, especially the famous mandrake. They're also known to attack the ankles of humans who wander by, so they're not exactly friendly. I don't know how often we'll make our way through marsh-like biomes in the game, but the Ministry classified these with a 3 rating, indicating you should keep your wits about you if you do happen to run into one of these creatures. You have to almost bust out your magnifying glass for this next one, but in this clip, we can see a golden snidget flying around. These are actually bird-like creatures that were originally used in Quidditch. Over the years, they became endangered due to their frail bodies and were replaced with the mechanical golden snitch. Capturing these beasts is highly illegal, and as such, the Ministry has marked it with a 4 classification, and by any means to acquire one will need serious justification. The tough-skinned, tiger-like Graphorn was introduced to fans in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The Mountain Dwellers have a fascinating combination of features, ranging from the tiger-like prowl to the mouth-covering tentacles. It appears we'll have multiple run-ins with these throughout the game, including having the ability to tame and add them to our vivarium, indicating we'll most likely rescue these beasts from some kind of duress, like a poacher. They'll also grant the player some materials to use for upgrades and potions as you care for them. The Ministry gives Graphorns a 4 classification as they are wild beasts, highly spell-resistant, and pose a great threat if not handled properly. We actually talked about centaurs in our recent Who's Who of Hogwarts Legacy video, but as they're technically classified as beasts by choice, we wanted to highlight them here as well. Centaurs have been a part of the Hogwarts mythos from the very beginning. Gifted in divination, centaurs in the wizarding world are strong-willed, but often aloof, spending years working to perfect their particular brand of seeing. They're defenders of territory in the Forbidden Forest, and as the trailers and showcases indicate, that's where we'll run into them, most likely as we enter this area of the game. The Ministry adorns them with a 4 classification as they're fully sapient beings, and you can't own them as pets. Strong-willed and dumb, there really aren't better ways to describe trolls. In fact, they were so dumb that the lowest grade you could achieve on a wizarding exam was dubbed troll. These creatures are incredibly aggressive and due to the lack of intelligence, never really had a rhyme or reason for their behavior. They were especially attracted to bad smells, which got them in some rough situations with the locals. There are several types of trolls, and we can see throughout the footage that we'll most likely be dealing with mountain and forest trolls, and they may be more common in the wild as you explore. Look out for these guys as the Ministry of Magic marks them with a 4 classification. Another 4-legged winged creature we find ourselves running into are Thestrals. You can't really mistake these for anything else. These winged horses with skeletal bodies are known to only be visible to those who have witnessed death at least once, and thus are considered incredibly rare. If you see one of these, it's said to be an omen of misfortune. We'll encounter these as a mount as part of the Dark Arts paid content, and maybe even as part of the official story. We may even have the ability to add these to our vivarium and breed them. Due to their 4 classification, it's advised only very experienced individuals should try to care or approach them, and owning one is technically frowned upon. This next creature we spotted during the official behind-the-scenes showcase. We didn't know what we were really looking at first, so we went to the fans and they didn't disappoint. Turns out this is a Kelpie, or a shape-shifting water demon that lurks in streams and rivers, able to take any form. The Loch Ness Monster is the perfect comparison. These creatures were known to lure travelers on their backs and then drag them underwater and eat them. But if you know what you're doing, they can be rendered docile using the placement charm, which is why the Ministry of Magic advises caution and places these creatures in the 4 classification. I hate these next creatures, I really do. Anytime you're in the Forbidden Forest, you're bound to run into the Acromantula, giant ass spiders with a taste for humans. These were created by experimental breeding before it was banned in 1965 and were often used to guard special locations or treasure. They lived in large social colonies and hunted together, so don't expect to easily isolate and fight just one. You get the whole group. Due to their aggressive nature, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say just because they're spiders, the Ministry slaps them with a 5 classification. Technically, the highest threat rating to anyone. Dragons, specifically the Hebridean black dragon, is considered one of the most aggressive species in the British region. Its iconic black scales, glowing purple eyes, and forward-facing horns clearly identify it. We're shown several times that we'll have some close calls with these creatures and even see the obvious remains of the same species hanging on display in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. The only other time we've seen these dragons is in one of Portkey's other games, Hogwarts Mystery. There's no question dragons are nothing to mess with, and the Ministry has given them a 5 classification to make sure that's clear. Here we have the classic werewolf or lycanthrope with its human-like form and wolf features. These were humans that would uncontrollably shift to a wolf form at the complete rising of a full moon. If you were ever bit by a werewolf, well, unfortunately, you joined their ranks. Notable figures throughout the books and movies were Fenrir Greyback and Remus Lupin. Within the game, werewolves have only been shown in concept art here in the behind-the-scenes showcase, but we'd love to think that this was a bit intentional. Maybe we'll actually run into these in-game, or at the very least, see them referenced throughout the world in some capacity. But really, come on, we all want to see a werewolf within Hogwarts Legacy. Due to the serious threat nature and vicious instincts, the Ministry places werewolves in the deserving 5 classification. You'll most likely be familiar with the soul-sucking wraiths, the Dementors. We've only seen a single instance of these within game footage, and it was super early on in the reveal trailer. We can only speculate here, as it suggests we may make a trip to Azkaban or some other protected and torturous setting. They may also be used to gate content and keep us out of places we're not supposed to be until later on within the game. Although the classification system only goes up to 5, these have been assigned 6s as their soul-destroying ability is deemed even worse than death itself. Okay, we still have no clue what this next creature is. Located in the Slytherin common room on full display is some sort of crustacean-like scorpion. Our best guess is that this is some possible relation to a Skrewt, but it could be some unclassified experiment that may never made it past experimental breeding stages. We'd love to know what you think, so make sure to give us your ideas in the comments. We're also stumped on this next one. It clearly looks like an ostrich, but it's missing its signature wing bones. But we don't want to believe the team did all this world building only to build out and place an ostrich skeleton as filler material. These are found within the Dark Arts classroom and Slytherin common room, so I'd like to think this was something related to experimental breeding that just never lasted long. Let us know in the comments what we're missing here. So there you go, all the classified beasts we may or may not run into during our adventures in Hogwarts Legacy. If you guys can't tell, we're really excited about this game, and while it's not guaranteed to be a success, we can't wait to dive in on February 10th to check it out. If you are interested in following our adventures in Hogwarts Legacy, we'd love to have you along for the ride. Drop a like below and consider subscribing so you never miss a new video. Although Hogwarts Legacy is a single-player game, we still want to invite you to join our Legacy gaming community on Discord. We recently revamped the entire server with a special section just for Hogwarts Legacy, so check out the link below and join today. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.